Governor Raimondo is here, and we got some work to do. Welcome into My State of Mind. I am Dan York. What is usually our procedure, which is to hit the rundown and knock out 5 or 6 or 7 news issues and have my brilliant commentary on each of them, will be just put aside here this evening because we want the brilliant commentary to come from our governor, who appears on Dan York's State of Mind now in month 19 of his existence for the first time. We're going to start with a pleasant part of the conversation because as I've broken down her work so far, there are 3 things I think she has done great, and I label them Gov's great moves. 1 is to delegate regional mayoral authority to Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee, which is a heck of a project. 2 is this lean executive order, which she just introduced. And 3 is the Medicaid review, which is wholly necessary. So far, so good. By the way, welcome, stranger. It is good to see you.
Yeah, great to be here. Great to be here.
You know, you and I have had in the past some spirited conversations on a lot of things, but I want to start constructively because I've always been a fan of you personally, and I think that some of the stuff that you have done that hasn't gotten a lot of attention is very practical governing. So let's dig into that graphic, if we will. It takes a special leader to be able to say, you know what, I can delegate a project to somebody else. And you've risen Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee to a significant level by saying, hey, I recognize a layer of government known as mayors and consolidation opportunities that's valuable. Tell me about that, please.
Yeah. Well, did
you say welcome? Did I say welcome? Did we do that already? We did that.
We did that already.
I want to make sure we did that.
We did that already. And if you're nice to me, I might even come back.
Oh, geez. You know, well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Anyway, no, it's great to be here. It's great to be here. So I did exactly as you say. You know, the lieutenant governor was mayor for a long time. He knows the issues that mayors face with. He has credibility among the mayors. And we need to move towards consolidation and streamlining and cutting costs. And who better than him, who he has credibility with the mayors. And the mayors have to come to the table and be part of the solution. So, you know, we have 42 school districts, 39 cities and towns. Right. Opportunities abound for saving money, streamlining, and I thought he would be a great guy to lead it. It's not a boondoggle you're sending him on. This might turn out to be a real thing, right? I mean, do you want results to come in that fit this urge that Rhode Islanders allegedly have, which is they want to see things come together? I don't know if we'll have town boundaries eliminated, but we might have what? Shared services. You might have shared services. You might have, which would save an awful lot of money. Shared health care. You know, why do we need all these health care plans? Maybe consolidated purchasing. So, you know, ways for consolidation in purchasing and providing services that'll save taxpayers money on the way towards, you know, bigger consolidation. Well, again, I think you get points for saying, you know what, I don't have to do everything myself. Yeah, I can't, actually. There's too much to do. All right, so issue 2, I thought this was phenomenal. Forever we've been asking whether government can actually match what the private sector tries to do in terms of efficiencies, perhaps savings, but at least return on investment that's higher caliber than we're getting right now. So you did this lean executive order, you went down to Wyoming, there is a Wyoming in Rhode Island, and Carl Waddenston and Vibeco and all of that, and you put this lean executive order. For someone who's reputed to be a little left of center, it surprised people. Tell me why you did that. Because we can't just throw money at problems. We don't have the money. We can't just say, I'm going to spend more money on it. We have to do more with less. And government isn't as efficient as it needs to be. Let's face it. There are backlogs. People wait too long to get their license, too long to get claims processed, too long to get permits and health inspections. And we're spending a lot of money and not getting enough for it. We have a culture problem in public employee, don't we? What is it? Yes. We need to be more focused on results. There's not enough focus on results. So why don't we incentivize public employees to provide results? I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, listen, this widget over here, if it was over here, it would be more efficient to get closer to here. I mean, that's a lot what lean is about. Of course, when it comes to paperwork and processes, it has different flavors. But what I don't see, even in the legislation that is for the towns, which is kind of commensurate with this state initiative, I don't see an incentive for performance that would make the public employee say, okay, now I got a reason to work better or more efficiently. Yeah. So, you know, there's a couple ways to incentivize people. One is with money, and that is a challenge in the public sector. You know, it's hard to provide bonuses per se, although we do some of it, you know, promote people who are good performers. But I believe in culture. Like, I did lean when I was treasurer in a small way. And we brought in a lean expert from the outside, a manufacturer. She looked at one of our programs, which had a 900 claim backlog, you know, terrible. And within 6 months, we eliminated the backlog from 900 to 0. But here's the key: people felt accountable. Like, the best part about that process was a woman who worked in the treasurer's office came to me and said, "I've worked in Treasury for 32 years, and for the first time in my life, I feel proud to say I work in Treasury."
All right, we'll see. Hopefully it catches fire. The Medicaid review is part of a longer conversation about the budget and health care and all of that. But give me 30, 40 seconds on what you're doing, because it seems to me that that's a big bite out of this budgetary apple.
It's a huge deal. We have to get this done. I mean, very simply, we can't have a thriving state with a structural deficit. You know, if we don't control our spending, we're going to have to raise taxes, we're going to lose businesses, and we won't be structurally sound.
Where's the fat in Medicaid?
Medicaid is a third of our state budget. 1/3 to 35% is our state budget.
But where's the fat in it?
Inefficiency, fraud, waste, paying for volume, not value. All we do is we pay for claims. We don't provide, you talk about incentives, we don't provide any incentive for quality care. For example, a lot of people could be taken care of at home instead of in a nursing home. Saves money, gives better care. We provide no incentive for that. If you're in a nursing home and you're not getting good care, you go to the emergency room once a month, we just pay. We just pay. Not good care.
Because it's what we've always done.
Because it's what we've always done.
Right,
and so this is a big deal, Dan. I mean, this is hard. You know, nobody wants to do it. It's not completely different from pensions. Nobody wants to do it. It's easier to ignore it. It's tough decisions. You can't get rid of your structural deficit until you bite the bullet on Medicaid.
Well, I congratulate you. I think those 3 initiatives are good starts. When we come back, some things we may not agree on. Stay with us.
I'm running for governor to rebuild Rhode Island, to move this state forward.
Rhode Island said it is ready to move forward.
We have to move forward.
Okay. Notwithstanding your unusual pronunciation of the word, what does that mean? You're driving me and a bunch of constituents crazy. What's the metric? What's it mean? You know how you say a word over and over sometimes, and then it loses its meaning? It's a fun thing to do with the kids. You say a word over and over and over again, and all of a sudden it just completely forward is getting there with me and others.
Yeah. So what does it mean? It means embracing doing things differently, which is everything from the people you put around you. You know, if you look around, the people I've put around me, there's some new faces from the private sector, faces of people who are very accomplished but have never served in government before. So it's embracing a new way of doing things. It's investing in things that we haven't invested in for a long time, like rebuilding our schools and our infrastructure, our roads and our bridges. And it means letting the world know we're open for business. You know, we talked about lean in the last segment. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that to say we're changing the culture. We're changing the culture. We are leaner, more efficient, more transparent, more outcome-oriented. We're open for business.
Accepted. I think the constituents need to be able to measure that one step forward has been made. Without a metric, politicians don't like to put metrics down. They don't like to be accountable for a goal. Without some metrics that are easy to understand, you may move forward and not be able to point to it.
Yeah.
So I think it would benefit you as well to start establishing what the definition of moving forward means. Does that make sense?
It does, actually. That's a very fair point. It's a good point. I have said that I want to eliminate our structural deficit, which is why I'm so, over time, you know, over my term, which is why I'm so focused on Medicaid. I've said we want to create thousands of middle-class jobs, and we're on our path to do that. But I do take the point. I mean, it's a good point to define it.
Something else that's been driving me a little batty with, can we roll this from Newsmakers the other day?
What's been the biggest adjustment for you?
It's a whole new magnitude, and on a personal level, I just feel responsible for everybody.
True.
I don't need a parent. I didn't vote for a parent.
Not a parent, but I am responsible.
No, you're not.
I am.
Respectfully, you're responsible to lead and create an environment out there and raise people up to help themselves.
Well,
This is a
good
great
point,
isn't this a
actually.
great governmental political
Yeah.
philosophy
good
conversation? I
point.
mean, this is fun. This is the kind of thing we could have 3 beers over or 10 and have some fun having the conversation, right? But the truth of the matter is, I don't want you taking care of everybody,
Yeah.
because I think it bleeds into process and philosophy and taxation policy and everything else. I just want you to create environments for success.
Correct.
You are a success story in your life. You did it yourself. So can everybody else.
Well, look, here's what I say. Again, you make an excellent point, and we could argue all day about this. So what's the role? What's the role of government? But what I've said and what I'm committed to is making Rhode Island a place of opportunity. I mean, the truth of it is, if your schools are falling apart and you're not getting a good education and your streets aren't safe and government's inefficient and ineffective, or taxes are too high and so all the businesses are leaving, you have no opportunity. So yes, my job isn't to be a parent, but my job is to make sure Rhode Island's a place of opportunity. So if you work hard, you can get a job and take care of your family.
Right. Does the mom thing come into play? Can we put the Clinton thing up? I thought when I read this, I went, oh, please. Raimondo says Clinton has the skills and experience to do the job, right values. Time for a woman, time to put a mom in the White House. You said that.
I
Same
believe that,
philosophy.
actually. Yeah.
Mom,
It doesn't mean you're, you need, look, I'll give you a great example.
Please.
When we were dealing with the snowstorm, one of the things I was very focused on was getting everybody off the
Nothing
road.
like a good snowstorm in your first month as governor.
If it goes all right.
You know,
Get
if
everybody
you had the
home.
plaid shirt, you really would have had a
Well, I
a
was-
winner. You were thinking about it, weren't you?
A lot of people sent me plaid shirts, actually. I got several plaid shirts.
I bet.
All too big, though. All too big. You know, you gotta care. You gotta care. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Because I care. So you just take a certain. Matt, I go grocery shopping every Sunday, and people come up to me every Sunday and they talk to me and they tell me what's going on, what's not working for them. Hey, I just got a job. It's $5 less than I used to make. Hey, I've been searching for a job for
And
6
your
months.
urgency is to say what? You know what? Let me look into that, because that's your nature.
True.
Right? How about, you know what? Good luck to you.
It's
I
not
got
enough.
some ideas, but good luck to you. You
Yeah.
can do this on your own. I know you can. Hey, by the way, are the bananas on sale? I mean, come on, right? We have a little bit of a what can you do? A lot of it in America right now of a what can you do for me government type
Yes.
of problem.
I
Don't we?
In some ways, I agree with you. And government can't solve all problems. But I will say this. Government, I believe, the basics have to be provided for. Good education, good infrastructure, skill development, opportunity. You know, provide skills that you need, and just more jobs.
Well, like I said, we could go all night, and but I think these nuances are important. I think
I
they
do.
really are.
I do. I'll say this too. Sometimes government is the problem. If, like, one of my first executive orders was around getting rid of regulations and, you know, reducing the number of regulations we have, getting rid of regulations that have a high cost and no benefit. So in some instances, government is, if it takes too long to get a permit, or if our taxes are too high, or if the regulatory environment is too much red tape, and that's a problem too. So a lot of what I want to do is just make government work.
By the way, what happened to the other gender? The other day, you had this beautiful young lady, 5th grade, who won the governor for a day. I know it was part of a women's initiative program. I get that. I know what the genesis was. But us guys and our sons were saying, come on, man.
Help us out too. I might do something for boys as well, but it was part of Women's History Month. You know, I'm the first female governor. It's a big deal. My biggest surprise, if you were to say to me, what's the biggest surprise in being in office?
What's the biggest surprise since you've been in office,
Great
Governor?
question. I'm glad you asked. Is what a big deal it is for little girls and women to have a female governor. The role model of it, letting girls know they can be whatever they want to be if they work hard enough. So it was important for me to do that.
I want you to know that there are a lot of men
Yeah.
who think it's a big deal and a wonderful thing to have a female governor for the first time.
Right, it's a good thing.
And
Not
it's really
to
more
leave
about-
boys out, though.
It's more about Gina Raimondo than it is about your gender, isn't it?
That's nice of you to say.
All right, when we come back, there's this thing called the Paw Sox Stadium thing. You may have heard of the controversy. We'll talk about it too.
When I was running for treasurer, I wasn't in office when the deal happened, but at running for treasurer, I was very critical of it and I spoke out against it. There was a time to stop this deal, which was before it happened, and I fought it.
The campaign, obviously, true and true. You also said that you supported the right kind of investigation into what the heck happened in 38 Studios. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a peep from you. Nick Mattiello is hear no evil, see no evil. He's fighting ethics commission matters as a regular course. Do you know that, by the way, the Speaker of the House rents to the Cranston Fire Department?
No, I don't
Owns
know
a piece
that.
of property in Cranston, which he has every right to do.
Right.
Rents to little businesses, and one of them is the Cranston Fire Department. There's big legislation on firefighting right now in the General Assembly, and the Speaker of the House has a fiduciary beneficial relationship with the Cranston Fire Department. Now, that's not your issue or your
Right.
responsibility,
Right.
but I'm looking for this leadership thing from you, this same grit that you had with pension when you were treasurer, the I'll fight until I have to, on good government, because you know why? It's poisoning the well everywhere. It's
Yeah.
going to poison all of your economic development challenges because we still haven't given ourselves, forgive the term, the political and investigative enema that we need on 38 Studios. Are you going to step
What do you
back?
think we need?
Well, what we need is a subpoena-powered, self-regulating, governmental General Assembly policing of their own process. Listen, you supported Gordon Fox walking around for politics.
I did.
And I know you don't feel good about that now.
No.
But Governor, respectfully, there was no secret about what he was doing back then, yet you made a judgment call to walk around in his camp.
Well, I was unaware of it. Like, let's be clear.
Well,
Maybe it was no
didn't
secret to
take,
you.
well,
What
it was
he
no
did-
secret to me, and I don't know, there was no grass growing under your feet ever as an elected
No,
official.
I supported him because he supported pension
This guy ran a
reform.
stealth operation and gave us a loan guarantee program that poisoned this state. The difference, people that make comparisons, and even I think you've been a little nonchalant at times talking about Kurt Schilling. We don't need another Kurt Schilling deal.
Right.
We never, if that was publicly discussed, the likes of which the Paw Sox are being discussed right now, it never would have made it. $75 million would never have been supported on a loan guarantee, never mind cash out for Kurt Schilling if it was debated in the General Assembly. Do you agree with me on that?
Right. I don't know. Maybe. I don't
Makes
know.
sense
Never
that
should
emotionally, it would have been a hell of a fight, don't you
Right,
agree?
right,
All right,
right.
I'm just saying we need to cleanse this state and finally put to bed and hold those accountable and penalize those who brought us this thing. And I'm waiting for the state police to do something, and they ain't done nothing. The feds are saying, I don't know, not our job. We need some political leadership on this thing.
You know, it's a great point. It is a great point. I think there's a lot of people to blame for that deal, and we don't need to rehash it. You know, General Assembly appropriated the money.
We do need to rehash it.
Well, right.
But
I mean, not
right.
on the show in the
Not
next 30
right,
seconds.
Right.
But what we also need to make sure is we never allow something like that to happen again. You know, that's why I've come out and said, hold your horses on this Paw Sox deal, for the, similar kind of reason.
Well, the difference in the Paw Sox deal, let's talk about it. Can I just ask you to consider stepping up the rhetoric
Yes.
on 38?
Yes.
Because it's going to hold you
It's a good
back.
point.
You're going to be at a big meeting on a 195 big thing that you're going to do 2 years from now, and someone's going to say, you know what, I just don't feel good about this state government,
Yeah.
right? And because we haven't gotten rid of the
Cleansed it.
stench of what that thing has brought us. Anyway, on the Paw Sox deal. Well, first of all, here's what you said about 195 back in the campaign.
When they rerouted the highway, we now have land available. I would like to use that land to have an innovation institute, and it would be funded not by the state, but by collaborations between universities and industry.
Okay. What up with that?
I'm working hard on it. I've already had conversation. I'm in conversation right now with Brown and other universities, some in Rhode Island, some not in Rhode Island. I've reached out to a number of companies to say, would you like to be part of this?
How much land?
I'd like to see as much of it as possible used for this kind
Is
of
it
an
a 2 acre,
innovation
5 acre,
center.
7 acre, 10 acre vision?
Oh,
Is
it's
it
a
got
20
big
acre
buildings?
vision.
Is it a thing we look at? What is it?
It's a 20-acre vision, and it's, you know, I think most of that land should be used for this kind of innovation.
Is that what the $25 million in your proposed budget
Yes.
is for?
Yeah.
Because speaking of metrics and definitions, other than $25 million for 195, I don't know what the heck that's for. What is that for? Is it for lawyers? Is it for incentivizing? Is it for subsidies? All of those things? What is it?
It's for to catalyze a few big deals to get that kind of activity going. So there's so many examples of this. You know, Roosevelt Island in New York City, perfect example. They had a plot of land not that dissimilar from ours, and they were able to bring Cornell University together with Israeli Technion, together with Google and a few other industries. The city, they put in, I think, $100 million, and then Cornell put in a lot of money. Sometimes there's that gap. It's to incentivize development.
All right,
It's an
I get that.
incentive for big development.
Let's talk about the Paw Sox for a second. It's a 2-hour show, but I got a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think you've been real clear on a public protocol for receiving their presentation, but I don't think they've been very good in, I think they've stepped in it a couple of times, and the political momentum is swinging against them right now for their ask of a net $4 million from the state. Where's this thing going to go?
I don't know. Here's what I do know. The deal they put on the table currently isn't fair to the taxpayers.
Did they proffer that to you before they did it publicly?
Not really, no.
Because wouldn't you
Not
have said,
really.
boys,
Right.
not over my dead body? I mean,
Right.
your rhetoric has been kind of like no good so far.
Right.
I mean, wouldn't they have called and said, "Gov, not for nothing"? What do you think?
Yeah.
They didn't do that?
No. We had a sense of what it was, but never, you know, this is what we're thinking.
Tell me where it ends. For me, subsidy means maybe the land's cheap, maybe the taxation's a big break, but I'm not writing you checks,
Right.
Mr. Paw Sox. Are you with me on that? Is that kind of where you are?
Here's where I am. First, we have to figure out what's it worth to us. Like, what's it worth to us? If I'm going to put one dime into this, the question is this the best way to spend that dime to create jobs in that land? So if I think it's going to create, making up a number, $50 million of economic value, then I might be willing to invest $50 million of the state's money. And then the way you do that, we can figure it out. But here's what I know is bad and what I will not do. We'll give you $100 million and we get nothing other than the fact that you get a stadium. Like, we need something, a share in the profits, some upside, something for the money we're going to put forward.
Here's what I need to know. Short answer. Are we this close, or that close with the Paw Sox?
With the present deal, not
This close.
happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Listen, you're the Democratic leader de facto. WPR Radio, where I have my other gig, has been the victim of a boycott by the Democrats. Are you ready to end this nonsense?
Well, let me say this. Let's remember why we're in this, as you say, nonsense. I mean, what John DePietro said was disgraceful, unacceptable, and shouldn't have happened. So, you know, I'm following the
Why
boycott.
does my audience have to suffer for that? You and I have had such a great working dialogue for all this time, and we can have it here, but I can't have
Right.
it live on the radio?
Yeah. Look, I'm here, and I want to
You're
talk
here.
to you. You know, I'll
You're
do
here.
the news, but the boycott's in place, and we're going to respect it.
For how long?
Until it's there, you know, until it's there. I think that the group put it in place. I stood with them. I agree with the reasoning. What he said, we just had a whole discussion about helping women and girls, and we're going to take a stand against that. But I'll talk to you anytime.
Weekdays noon to 3 on WPRO. You know.
Well, I'm here now.
Thanks for coming. See you on the radio tomorrow.